Dear students, this channel is for practicing PTE modules every day. If you are struggling with PTE reading module, you can purchase a reading course, which may help you to ace your reading score. Contact us on 6367949840, 9588068207.
Colorful poison frogs in the Amazon owe their great diversity to ancestors that leapt into the region from the Andes Mountains several times during the last 10 million years, a new study from the University of Texas at Austin suggests. This is the first study to show that the Andes have been a major source of diversity for the Amazon basin, one of the largest reservoirs of biological diversity on Earth. The finding runs counter to the idea that Amazonian diversity is the result of evolution only within the tropical forest itself. Basically, the Amazon basin is a melting pot for South American frogs, says graduate student Juan Santos, lead author of the study. Poison frogs there have come from multiple places of origin, notably the Andes Mountains, over many millions of years. We have shown that you cannot understand Amazonian biodiversity by looking only in the basin. Adjacent regions have played a major role. It seems we live in a bizarre universe. One of the greatest mysteries in the whole of science is the prospect that 75% of the universe is made up from a mysterious substance known as dark energy, which causes an acceleration of the cosmic expansion. Since a further 21% of the universe is made up from invisible cold dark matter that can only be detected through its gravitational effects, the ordinary atomic matter, making up the rest, is apparently only 4% of the total cosmic budget. These discoveries require a shift in our perception as great as that made after Copernicus's revelation that the Earth moves around the Sun. This lecture will start by reviewing the checkered history of dark energy, not only since Einstein's proposal for a similar entity in 1917, but by tracing the concept back to Newton's ideas. This lecture will summarize the current evidence for dark energy, and future surveys in which UCL is heavily involved, the Dark Energy Survey, the Hubble Space Telescope, and the proposed Euclid space mission. You may well ask why science did not warn us of global warming sooner. I think that there are several reasons. We were from the 1970s until the end of the century distracted by the important global problem of stratospheric ozone depletion, which we knew was manageable. We threw all our efforts into it and succeeded, but had little time to spend on climate change. Climate science was also neglected because 20th century science failed to recognize the true nature of Earth as a responsive self-regulating entity. Biologists were so carried away by Darwin's great vision that they failed to see that living things were tightly coupled to their material environment, and that evolution concerns the whole Earth system, with living organisms an integral part of it. Earth is not the Goldilocks planet of the solar system sitting at the right place for life. It was in this favorable state some 2 billion years ago, but now our planet has to work hard against ever-increasing heat from the sun to keep itself move. Wind is air in motion. Sometimes air moves slowly, giving a gentle breeze. At other times it moves rapidly, creating gales and hurricanes. Gentle or fierce, wind always starts in the same way. As the sun moves through the sky, it heats up some parts of the sea and land more than others. The air above these hot spots is warmed, becomes lighter than the surrounding air, and begins to rise. Elsewhere, cool air sinks, because it's heavier. Winds blow because air squeezed out by sinking, cold air is sucked in under rising, warm air. Winds will blow wherever there is a difference in air, temperature and pressure, always flowing from high to low pressure. Some winds blow in one place, and have a local name. North America's Chinook and France's Mistral. Others are part of a huge circulation pattern that sends winds over the entire globe. Sustainable job growth is a motto for many governments, especially in the aftermath of a recession. The problem of job quality is less often addressed and may be seen as hindering job growth. The sentiment "any job is better than no job" may resonate with governments as well as people, especially in the context of high unemployment. However, if the balance between improving the quality of existing jobs and creating new jobs becomes greatly imbalanced towards the latter, this could increase work stress among current and future workers, which in turn has health, economic and social costs. A recent British Academy Policy Centre report on stress at work highlights these concerns and describes the context, determinants and consequences of work-related stress in Britain. During the day, the sun heats up both the ocean surface and the land. Water is a good absorber of the energy from the sun. The land absorbs much of the sun's energy as well. However, water heats up much more slowly than land, and so the air above the land will be warmer compared to the air over the ocean. The warm air over the land will rise throughout the day, causing low pressure at the surface. Over the water, high surface pressure will form because of the colder air. To compensate, the air will sink over the ocean. The wind will blow from the higher pressure over the water to lower pressure over the land, causing the sea breeze. The sea breeze strength will vary depending on the temperature difference between the land and the ocean. People move to a new region for many different reasons. The motivation for moving can come from a combination of what researchers sometimes call push and pull factors, those that encourage people to leave a region, and those that attract people to a region. Some of the factors that motivate people to move include seeking a better climate, finding more affordable housing, looking for work, or retiring from work, leaving the congestion of city living, wanting a more pleasant environment, and wanting to be near to family and friends. Steven Pinker, a cognitive psychologist best known for his book, The Language Instinct, has called music auditory cheesecake, an exquisite confection crafted to tickle the sensitive spots of at least 6 of our mental faculties. If it vanished from our species, he said, the rest of our lifestyle would be virtually unchanged. Others have argued that, on the contrary, music, along with art and literature, is part of what makes people human. Its absence would have a brutalizing effect. Philip Ball, a British science writer and an avid music enthusiast, comes down somewhere in the middle. He says that music is ingrained in our auditory, cognitive, and motor functions. We have a music instinct as much as a language instinct, and could not rid ourselves of it if we tried.